All right, thank you, Joanna. I'm reading from the first couple pages from my memoir, which is forthcoming later this year. It's called Room to Swing an Axe. Give me 1 minute here. When I was 10, my stepfather hit me in the head with an axe, a 4-pound fireside friend. Most mornings he was up and out early, 6, 7 tops, splitting the logs of trunk wood that spoked out in a loose shaker wheel along the side of the house so they'd fit under the lids of the living room stove. Even now, decades later, I can see the scene. The axe in the rising light, all red cheek and diamond shine, his thick arms rearing back, that shudder of shoulders, a home run aimed earthward. He was 65, but he could quarter a log in 3 whacks, split 200 pounds in 2 minutes. He'd won contests. I remember his face after an hour at it, shiny and flushed. I remember his flannel shirt, the checks under his arm, blocks of bright blue and black, darkened and made uniform by the sweat. Chop your own wood, he'd like to say, and you warm yourself twice. It'd been kindling, not log rounds, that morning in the yard. The swing, short and light, a bunt, not a run. And me, crouched on the chop block, a leveled stump to the left of the stack, holding on edge a scrap square of pine board so he could whack it into starter sticks. I remember sitting at the kitchen table as he stitched the cut with a needle gotten from a vet kit he kept in an Army surplus ammo can dappled with splotches of black and green spray paint. He'd used the can last week when a big crazy mare named Midnight had charged the pasture fence. He held my head gently, stroking my hair the way he had Midnight's mane, cooing softly in my ear as my mother cried hysterically in the living room. Easy, he whispered, you'll be fine. I tried to reconcile this sudden tenderness with the unpleasant man I knew. Never had he treated me so kindly, like I was special. Not when I graduated 6th grade or won my first wrestling match. Not when I drove that deer out of the deadfall into his sight line or cluck called that beach ball of a turkey hen up from the creek bed. Once, for Christmas, I gave him a gun scabbard made from skirting leather. He'd smiled, but his eyes and voice stayed hard. Zip up hood, he'd said, inspecting it. Nice. He drew the slider up and around, checking the spiral for catches. Most scabbards left the butt exposed, but I paid extra for the zipper. He patted my head then and squeezed my shoulder, both so hard they carried a tinge of discipline. Back at the kitchen table, I could feel the blood caking and congealing on my neck and shoulders like the wax of my stepdad's bourbon bottle, and I recalled how he had, in fact, treated me like this before, once before. They'd been going out a month, he and Mom, him still with the practice, me there for a checkup. His big hydraulic chair, mouth mirrors and periodontal probes, the mint-flavored fluoride paste. His touch had been gentle, his breath sweet, smelling the way the paste tasted. He had cooed then, too. This, I suddenly understood, listening to the dogs drown at my mom, the whole kennel baying because breakfast had run late, was his bedside manner. I tasted metal, like a coin had been placed on my tongue, and it felt like one of the heavy stove lids was pressing down on the top of my head. I couldn't see it, of course, but I could guess what it looked like. I remembered Midnight's knee, the loose flap, the red plush. Midnight was black and had a white spot on each leg. The curving cut, once stitched, made the bulge of his knee look like a baseball. But mine was straight, finely spun, the sharp, neat blade of the axe instead of the gouging, tangling barbs of the fence. The only thing making it messy was the blood. I felt like the zippered hood, the chunky metal teeth catching and locking as he pulled the needle across my scalp. He leaned in close. He tied the thread and bit it short. The pressure of his lips felt like a kiss. Well, he said, closing up his vet kit with the clatter of a toolbox, that'll be with you forever. Thank you.